I just had to let you know you're.
Are you still waiting for the box to hit me? Never mind, let's proceed about the sources of fire. So now let's talk about the sources of fire in this case study. First, the chemical reaction, which is the fire, was triggered by a chemical reaction involving sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. This reaction likely produced heat, which acted as a ignition sources. Secondly, hazardous chemical as a fuel. The sulfuric acid, which is H2SO4, and the hydrochloric acid, HCl, acted as the fuel component in the fire. Next, about the oxygen from the air, which is the oxygen in laboratory environment supported the combustion process. And last but not least, which is a human error. The example including spilling chemical, incorrect mixing procedure, or leaving heating equipment unattended, which can trigger a fire incident. So now let's look about the fire triangle explanation, which is you can see about heat, fuel, and oxygen, which is heat can produce the chemical reaction, fuel, which hazardous chemical. For example, in this case, which is we use sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid, and love oxygen, which is present in the surrounding air. So let's move to the next.
Today, I'm going to start my part, which is possible causes of fire. First of all, improper chemical storage can cause fire. Storing incompatible chemicals like concentrated acid in close proximity where a leak could cause them to mix up. Other than that, failure of containment like spill or broken glass container allowed the chemicals to react violently. Furthermore, inadequate ventilation possibly can happen if the reaction produces flammable vapor or extreme heat. Poor ventilation could have accelerated the combustion process. Not just that, lack of proper PPE or handling protocols can cause the reaction occurred during an experiment. It suggests a lapse in standing operating procedure (SOP) for handling highly reactive substances.
First, we must conduct a fire risk assessment. This will identify all possible fire hazards in laboratory. For example, flammable chemicals, ignition sources such as open flames or electric equipment, and unsafe storage practice. By identifying this risk early, we can take action to reduce the chance of fire occurring. Second, we need to establish proper storage and handling procedures. All chemicals must be clearly labeled and stored according to the capability. Hazard materials should be kept in the appropriate containers and handled following standard operation procedure. Third, it is important to install fire protection equipment. The laboratory should be equipped with a fire extinguisher, fire blankets, and fire alarm system. The safety tools must be placed in an accessible location and checked regularly to ensure they are functioning properly in case of any emergencies. Next, we should develop emergency response procedure. This includes preparing clear evacuation routes and identifying assemble points where everyone should be gathered during a fire emergency.
Hello. Now it's my turn to explain the lessons learned from this fire incident. Based on this case study, we can identify several important safety lessons that are crucial to prevent such incidents from happening again. Well, this incident highlights several important lessons that should never be overlooked in a laboratory setting. It shows how dangerous chemical reactions can become when incompatible substances such as sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid are not properly managed, as the combination of heat, fuel, and oxygen can easily complete the fire triangle and lead to ignition. The situation also emphasizes that poor storage practices, such as placing reactive chemicals too close to one another, and failure of containment systems can directly cause hazardous incidents. In addition, inadequate ventilation and failure to strictly follow standard operating procedures (SOP), including the use of appropriate personal protective equipment (PPE), further increase the risk and severity of the fire. Now, as a safety officer, it's crucial to ensure that all personnel are well trained. Emergency response plans are clearly established, and safety measures are consistently enforced to maintain a safe working environment. In addition, this incident also emphasizes the importance of moral values in ensuring workplace safety. Among these are a sense of responsibility, where every individual must be aware of their own safety and that of others when handling chemicals. Lastly, a caring attitude should be cultivated so that everyone remains concerned about maintaining a safe working environment and is always prepared to respond quickly and appropriately in the event of an emergency. Now, that's all from us. Thank you for watching our video.
Hai korang, we already done our video. So yeah, tengok ni semua penat.
Oh my god, 3!